up, everyone? Welcome back to our Walking Dead reviews. This week we are looking at Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 5, Laura. With me as usual is Jason.
Duck season? Rabbit season? Nah, zombie season.
Every week. Every week. Alright, so we had a very different episode this week. Let's just get right into it. Jason, your thoughts on Episode 5?
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The shake-up, it's drastically different to what we've seen as far as episode format goes. And I liked the full throughout story. Learning more about Laura, Naomi, whatever we're calling her now. Getting that nice interaction between John and Morgan at the end. Everything about this episode. It's probably my favorite episode this season.
I have to agree. I think this could be my favorite episode, the best episode out of both shows this year. For Season 8 of The Walking Dead and for Season 4 of Fear. Could possibly be. It's definitely up there right now. I agree. This was a different format. It was, hey, look at that. We got a whole story in one episode, basically from start to finish.
Yeah, I'd love that sort of self-contained story. It would be fun to see more of that in the future.
Go ahead.
With the different characters.
I don't remember if we talked about this on the show or around when we were going to be recording a show, but I think we had mentioned once that something that they could be and should be doing is telling more self-contained stories. Do you remember that conversation?
I think that was on the show, because we were talking, it was like one of those end of the episode rambles about, I think it was during the mainline show, we were talking about what we wanted for Fear this season.
Well, the conversation basically surrounded. Sorry, the conversation was basically surrounded by the concept of them doing like a series, maybe a mini series, or maybe just continuously telling us stories and things from around the world. Not just focusing around these two groups, but telling us about things that have happened maybe in a different country or maybe in a different part of the U.S. Just short stories kind of highlighting an incident or group and things that have happened to them. Maybe it takes one episode, maybe it takes half of a season. But, to tell these stories in this manner, I mean, the finish to end story of what you typically find with zombie apocalypse movies and shows and such, it's been lost on The Walking Dead because it is a continuous story. In fact, once people started to realize that there may not be an end game to this show, is when I think a lot of people started losing interest, because at the heart of a lot of the story of zombies and using zombies is the completion for the character and how they dealt with the situation and how they move on from it, or they don't.
Yeah, I think The Walking Dead is starting to suffer from Lost syndrome. There were so many, especially towards the later seasons of Lost, where it felt like there was no planned ending for these characters, and they just kept adding stuff to try to prolong it. And I think that's sort of what people have gotten. It's like a fatigue of a lack of an end.
Well, that is true to an extent. Now you're talking to a big Lost fan, and a lot of the things that they ended up doing in the show were planned, but there were definitely a lot of things that they just threw at the wall and they tried to see what would stick, and they didn't answer all the questions. They left that show without everything done, and that was a shame. And in a lot of ways, fans were right. That being said, they told the arc that they wanted to tell, but we're not talking about that show. There's no reason to be ripping on Lost.
I forgot I'm speaking to a Lost fan. Yeah.
Anyways,
you get what I mean, though.
Yeah. So, one thing that I have to agree with you on now, because when Fear started this season, you immediately said that John was one of your new favorite guys.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he is.
I am loving this character.
Me too.
I mean, he's a very refreshing approach. I mean, I would have to say that the closest thing we've seen to a character like this was Herschel, and he's just a very simple person, living a very simple life, trying to just getting by in what's going on, and his morals and his decisions have led him to the conclusions that he have, and they're not complicated. They're very simple. They're very basic, but they're also very endearing.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's one of the reasons why I like him so much, is he seems like a very down-to-earth, simple character, and I do love that, And I'm going to jump around on you, but I think my favorite part of this episode was him and Morgan at the end, where, he tells Morgan, maybe I shouldn't have told her, and Morgan's like, no, you absolutely did the right thing. There's too much hesitation.
And it's kind of funny. And maybe I'm learning more about Morgan than I thought, or maybe Morgan's changed, because I could have sworn that ultimately a lot of what fuels Morgan to try to be so isolated is the fact that he does not believe that things can be better, that he accepts the harshness of this world. But at the end of this episode, that at least at the end of the episode did not seem to be the case.
Maybe we're seeing a change in Morgan. I certainly think that your evaluation of him was not wrong up to this point, but
well, I mean, at least through the last couple seasons when he went back to clear mode, I mean, that was what he was genuinely trying to do after he left. The cheesemaker guy, I forget his name at this point. He left his cottage, and when he meets up with Rick and the group, I mean, that is genuinely where he's coming from. I mean, he's all in for believing that.
Yeah. But, like, at a certain point, it's interesting to see him change, and I think that Morgan has to change. You have talked about how you think Morgan's going to be at it to the end, but
yep.
Human beings can't exist as isolationists. We're social creatures.
Right.
Everybody needs somebody, and I think that maybe Morgan seeing a polar opposite of himself and John. You know what I mean?
Interesting take. Yeah, it's Morgan's complicated, and I think that's why a lot of people like him. I don't think you can really pin him down, because he's been from hell and back, and then to hell again, and now he's back. But he's learned what triggers him, and he knows what he wants to believe.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And I think you might be right, though. I think the relationship between the two of them, I think he's going to look to John, to somebody to help fuel those beliefs and get faith in people again.
Yeah, I do too, without a doubt. It'll be fun to see Morgan sort of work his way back. It's something we've seen before, but I'm hoping it'll be a little bit different this time.
Well, I hope his gunshot wound in his leg doesn't get infected. Dude is not taking care of that.
No, he's not.
So it's pretty safe to say that they are, in fact, going to drag this out. That we probably should be seeing this huge fight, but we're probably not going to see it until the last episode of the mid-season finale.
God, I hope not.
No, that's already where it's going. Because you got episode 6 next week, and then there's only 2 left after that. So, yeah, we're not seeing it until probably June.
Yeah.
It better be good.
Well, I mean, hopefully we see the fight at least then, and it's not like 2 seasons before.
So what we got? We didn't just get John's backstory though. We got Naomi's / Laura. Well, we know her name's not Laura. It probably is Naomi. So we got Naomi's background story, at least a bit of it. I think there's definitely some things there that we clearly haven't seen. Like she said that she lost a child, and there's I think there's been some pretty bad things that have happened to her that just makes her constantly want to leave, constantly want to run. I mean, certainly losing a child would be enough for that kind of detachment from the world, especially this horrible world. But we got a bit of a backstory to Naomi. What do you think about Naomi now?
Well, I definitely don't think she's working with the Vultures. Because I know that you said that was still a theory that was floating around in your head.
Well, my theory was that she ends up going to the Vultures because she realizes that the baseball stadium's not gonna last, and I'm not so sure if that's gonna happen now.
No.
Just we are seeing a bit of context to her character.
Well, and I think learning a bit more. There was a lot of stuff that she did during this episode, like the little stuff, the leaving the sorry note on the Scrabble board, like just little things that made her feel more human, more like she's not a bad person, she's just afraid of recommitting to something.
I think you were correct with just saying she's just afraid.
Yeah,
she's just scared. She's scarred.
Absolutely.
And maybe I'm wrong about her turning on the main group. I, however, still firmly stand by the fact that she will die this season, and that 75% chance that it has to do with an eyeball.
All right.
Either an eyeball's going to be missing, or it's just going to be ravaged.
Let's up the stakes. Do you think John is going to be there for when she dies?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Because I think they're either going to pull, Well,
now I'm
blanking on her name.
Luciana clearly said that she was dead, and that she had died. I don't know if that's necessarily the case or not.
I think she's chilling with Daniel in Limbo.
You think she's just hanging out with Daniel?
In Limbo, just sort of like the maybe dead, maybe not.
Dude, we're gonna see Daniel again. And dude is going to be fucked up, and he's going to be coming for Madison.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But I don't think we're going to see much of Naomi again this season. I think she's going to pop it at maybe the mid-season, but I don't think we're going to see her until then.
Do you think she dies this season?
I'm not sure yet.
She's so fucking dead.
Nah, maybe not.
She's dead.
Maybe not.
And you know what? I don't like her either. And
no.
And before I didn't care. I don't like her. I do not like this person.
No, why not?
She's a bitch.
How so?
What do you mean? How so?
How so? What do you think makes her a bitch?
Oh, okay. So she got attached to John only after he showed her just how good of a shot he was, which by the way was awesome to see. Those shots that he was laying on those walkers, like right around. I mean, that's some scary ass shit.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, you seeing him take those shots and killing like all the walkers around her. I mean, especially in the regular Walking Dead, where we've been seeing people shoot like stormtroopers. I mean, dude's just like pow, 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 and they're all just dying around her. It was awesome. We'd been hoping that we would see that from John. He's, I wouldn't even call him a sharpshooter. I think he's more in tune as a trick shot,
gunslinger.
Yeah, like that. It wasn't until that point that she truly fell for him. She just, she just takes people's stuff. We've seen that on multiple occasions. She wants to ditch people. She took his gun without asking.
That's true. Now he's got the gun back and the backpack.
Yeah, I don't even know why he's messing with her anymore.
Well, I think mainly for John, it's about redemption. John's whole thing is that he felt so bad about killing that guy. He wouldn't even take out zombies with guns.
Now, that being said, did you see the preview for this coming week's episode?
No.
He shoots somebody.
He shoots somebody?
Yeah, they showed it in the preview.
That throws my entire monkey wrench in a theory.
Why don't you watch a 30-second preview of some time?
Because I like to be surprised, Chris. All right, I don't want to know what's going to happen until the episode airs.
Well, it certainly looks like he shoots somebody, and it doesn't look like he fatally shoots somebody, but...
Oh, well, that's different, you know. No, my whole thing was going to be that at the mid-season, you know, when this big conflict comes to a head, John's going to have to make this big moral dilemma where he's going to have to kill somebody.
Nope. You know what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to kill Walker Laura. Walker
Naomi. Laura?
Yep, Walker Naomi. He's going to have to take out that other eye.
Jesus.
What did she put in the Scrabble letters at the end? What was her note? Yeah, I couldn't quite read it.
It was, I'm sorry, I love you. Or, I love you, I'm sorry.
Oh. See, what a bitch. Nothing?
No comment.
Wouldn't you call a girl a bitch if they did that to you? I'd call you a bitch if you did that to someone else.
Steal a gun and run away? Yeah, maybe.
And she took his damn boots.
Well, he offered them to her.
He offered to borrow them to her.
Well, you know. It's love in the zombie apocalypse, you know.
How awesome is John's little hut, though?
Oh, dude, that thing was sick. He was living the good life.
He was. He had a general store all to himself, just hanging out, just watching TV, just living it. Just like
he made the wrong choice for a girlfriend. I think that's what we've chalked it up to. If he had made a better choice than girlfriend, he would have been living the good life all the way to the end.
Slim pickings in the zombie apocalypse. You know, you can only get so many people. Yeah, I agree though. She's a bitch. She kind of reminded me of Carol at times. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, well, like, I started drawing a lot of similarities after she was like, I lost a child, and for some reason I was like, oh, this is Fierce Carol. And then, you know, just some of the stuff she said. And the way
I
she
don't
acted.
like to say things like that, but I mean, obviously, you know, like, Madison's the closest thing you have to Rick, Nick was the closest thing we had to Daryl. No, but you're right, there was obviously some shadowing there. And I don't think that was unintentional. You know, unlike Carol, I don't think she's going to keep going on. I think she's going to be dead.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see.
You know, that's the better story, quite honestly, in my opinion, is that she ends up dead. He ends up having to put her down, and then you have the conflict of John dealing with what's happened, losing somebody he loved, and Morgan trying to pull him back.
That does sound pretty good. Do you think there's ever a happy ending for anybody in The Walking Dead?
No.
No happy endings.
I used to think there was a couple happy endings. What was his name? You saw him in season 8 of The Walking Dead. What was his name? It was him and his family. They left at the end of season 1, and Rick saw him again with the Saviors.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was him and his family. It's when they were going to go to the CDC, and they decided not to. They decided to go their own way.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name at the moment, but like obviously, you know, I'm like, geez, you know, and they weren't from the comic either, and it's like, you know, maybe they're doing great. Maybe they got away and they're doing good, and everyone else, they were right to not follow Rick, and nope, there he is. He's a savior. His family's gone. And then Daryl just shoots him in the back of the head.
Yep. Oh, God, I had totally forgotten about that. Yep.
So, no one's had a happy ending.
No, but do you think the possibility exists, even, like...
Yeah.
For any of the characters? Do you think that, like, Walking Dead final season, do you think anybody gets a happy ending?
Sorry, I had to yell in there. No one needed to hear that. You know, the biggest theory for both the comic and the TV show up until recently is that a lot of this leads up to Carl, and Carl finding a way. to live and survive in this world. And I thought that was it. And obviously in the TV show we're not seeing that. But
No.
yeah,
I think so. I think they might adapt it so that they make the jump bigger, and it's Rick's baby daughter who does the
Judith.
final, like, yeah,
little ass
who does,
kicker.
yep, who does the little, through all it all, we made it, here's civilization post, yada yada.
Shane and Laurie's kid.
Yep. Well,
he's got to at least get a blood test done on that.
yeah, if it's technically Rick's kid or not, it's still Rick's kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's going to be the one raising her.
Right. It'll be interesting the day that they end the show. I still think that they're going to end up, because I don't think they're going to be able to help themselves now. They've done the whole crossover thing, and they'll do it again. And I think we're going to end up seeing one big, huge thing that's going to at least end the main show, and maybe it'll end Fear as well, and or maybe we'll get another season or two of Fear. And I think we're going to see that in the next couple years. I think by the end of season 10. I think the writers for the main show at this point would be smart to abandon the formula that they've been following with the comics at this point, because I mean they're having a hard time getting some of these actors to come back on a yearly basis now and to renew, because they want to do other stuff. I mean, it's been 8 years. It's been a long time, and the show's not doing that great anymore. I hope season 9 is fucking awesome. And I hope it can bring back a lot of people, and I hope everybody loves it, and I'm completely wrong. But I doubt it.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I wanted to do this and start doing this podcast, I mean, I'd had this idea for a while, was because it's an interesting time for the shows, because just as it's almost as interesting as when the show is building up and doing so great and has so much momentum, is when a show like this, which is as rare as it is trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
And what they do to do that.
Yep. No, I agree 100%.
Anyway, so do you have anything else for your notes for Fear for this episode?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
It was a great one shot. The actors, whether I liked their characters or not, had great chemistry. It was a great story. It was two very different people who in pre-apocalypse probably would have never given each other the time of day. And well, maybe John would have, but Naomi probably would not have. It was a great story. It was a lot of fun. It was a contained zombie apocalypse tale that we got to see pretty much from beginning, middle, and end. It tugged at your feels. There was plenty of action. It was great. It was absolutely great. More of this stuff like this. They've done this every once in a while. Like, again, they did this with Morgan and the Cheesemaker guy. They've done this stuff from time to time. They need to do more of it.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Well, and they've got a chance with a lot of these new characters that they've been injecting with Fear. It's not Athena, the trucker gal. Atlia, or Athela? What? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Althea. Yeah, Althea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're going to get her story. I think that story's going to end up being awesome. That's going to be these... I'm pretty sure that she was like, what do they call them? She was a reporter, but for like areas that are at war.
One of those.
A field reporter, but yeah. So I think we're going to end up seeing some pretty awesome stuff with her.
Yeah, I'm excited for her story too.
Yeah, we're going to get something really cool. We're gonna see something a bit more related, a bit more grounded, something that's going to be, I think, very, very early zombie apocalypse. I think we're going to get something really good with her.
Yeah, I'm excited. The other thing and this is totally off track, that I would love to see from The Walking Dead, like a short 1 or 2 shot story about like the actual army, being in the army during the fall.
Well, that's what we were supposed to get, man. We got a little bit of that in season 1, but that's what Fear was supposed to be. We were supposed to get a whole bunch of that stuff. The Fear's concept, not just the first season, but its concept was to show you the early days of the zombie apocalypse. To be all Breaking Bad with the timeline. Do you get that reference, or were you not a big a big Breaking Bad fan?
Never seen Breaking Bad.
Oh my god.
No, never seen it.
You've missed out, so you need to watch it. But anyways, pretty much the entire series, the 5 or 6 years that it was around, takes place in a year and a half time.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
Up until the very end. And that's kind of what we were supposed to get. I mean, this is supposed to move slow. This was supposed to move kind of like 24. Not quite that slow, but we're supposed to get a lot of dramatic early stuff. And they, unfortunately, we got some of it, but they dropped the ball on this early on. But I completely agree with you. That's what we were supposed to be getting with this show. It would make sense that at some point throughout this whole thing that they're following a group of people that eventually the original cast dies, and now you're just following different people. And that met them at one point. So there was supposed to be a very different concept for this, and it's a shame that they abandoned it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would love to see it revisited at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, Walkers versus military, New York City. I mean, for God's sakes.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Right. I mean, can you imagine the most populated city in the world, and just try and survive that, trying to get through it, be in the military, military with civilians.
Oh yeah.
Where is it? Kirkman?
Kirkman?
Yeah, Robert Kirkman. That's the writer.
Oh. I thought you were calling me Kirkman, and I'm like, where did you get that from?
You don't get to do the show hungry anymore.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. Anything else for you on this one?
Nah, I think that's everything.
Okay, so we have to rate it. So 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5 man shacks, because there's nothing there. That's just nothing. There's no better way to say that than that is like a man cave right there. That is the man shack.
All right, I'm gonna rate it highly. All right, I'm gonna go 4.5.
You're gonna go 4.5. I am giving it a 5.
5. You've heard it here, folks.
5 out of 5 for what this was supposed to be, and for what it was. It delivered in every way.
Yep.
When I give something a top rating, and I very rarely do, the main question I ask is, could they have done it better? And were any of the errors that I saw, did they matter? And I don't think they could have delivered any better on what they had here. It was just great. It was great. It might go down as one of my top 5 favorite episodes from either show.
Yeah, it just absolutely. I agree 100%. Just out of the park, mastered it.
All right, 5 out of 5 man sheds.
All righty there.
What was he watching on the TV? Could you recognize any of that stuff?
No.
Oh. All right, guys, let us know what you think. Comment below. Send us an email at caseallmedia@gmail.com. If you liked this episode, please give it a like. If you like our reviews, please subscribe. But I think that's going to do it. So until next week, Jason.
This has been Jason.
That's been Jason. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, is there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great, if you could throw some support, you can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's caseonmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, pick up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.